We cracked the code on Golem Damage, and we exactly know how this multiplies so heavily upwards. It's 5,724. But if I'm putting out this piece with 150% Golem Damage, I'm actually losing... Wait, what? That was 600. And if I'm putting up the 340% Golem Damage, which is a lot, I'm losing over 1,300. But why is that? This is because every piece of damage is being multiplied upwards. And that is, in my case, 340 times 3 and times 1.25, which actually turns that 340 into 1,275% Golem damage. But why is that? That's very simple, because you have your Golem Mastery, which is a 200% in my case. That is the 3 times multiplier. So every point of Golem damage you put on now is getting multiplied by 200%. But after you get multiplied by 200%, there's another multiplier, and that is in your Paragon Board. And that multiplier would be the Golem Glyph, giving you another 25%, which means that every measly point of 8.5 damage and these 50% damage nodes get multiplied up a lot. 50% damage is now 50 times 3 times 1.25, 200%. More Golem Mastery, even more damage. And the next big point for damage is that Blood Getters is working. My testing was flawed the first time we redid it live on stream. This 21% damage bonus that you get yourself by playing Blood Getters and heal yourself is going to your minions for a total of a 51% damage increase. And now we took all of this and tried to beat a 115 pit. Watch it unfold, and then I'll break down the whole build for you with the changes and the new temperings that actually lead to an insane amount of stagger. Enjoy. Okay, Army of the Dead, get our lads back. Some people say that skill point is unnecessary, but honestly, it's a very nice, convenient skill point, and let's be fair, you don't really need it anywhere else, so it's okay to have. Pull everything together. Definitely hate the snakes. Try to stand very close to your lads, because the closer you stand, or at least if you stand close, you get the Hellbound Commander for that huge multiplier. And damn, that pack of mobs that just went away like there's no tomorrow. Love to see it. Gotta make sure that my golem doesn't get stuck, because I had that in the last dungeon, that he was like stuck in a wall, and I didn't notice while I was fighting a pack, and he was literally like, you could trigger his cooldown, but it was not doing any damage. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced yet. Because you're like trying to take your enemies down, and they're just like, oh yeah, how about no? A bit of a bummer. We're currently rocking 60k HP, because that's what you want. Double potion, and the 60k essentially allows me to survive some things that I shouldn't survive, right? Like some of the elemental damages from the minions, some of the boss echoes if they hit your pinky toe, because you don't always get like full hit by a boss echo, right? Sometimes they just graze you, especially when you stand at the outer reach of it, and that grazing you survive. I mean, even the wind explosions from the wind echo, you do actually survive. So that's 60k HP is like a nice little sweet spot for Necro with like the standard damage reductions going on. Pull them all together. Don't overdo with the corpse tendrils. I see a lot of you doing that mistake, myself included. Because you essentially have the cooldown, you're like, sure, we can spam it. The thing is that your dudes are reducing your cooldowns, right? Your Reapers. And they do that every 10 seconds, plus obviously the Crepify. But you want that cooldown reduction from the Reapers that functions as a bonus, right? You want that to go on your Golem and your Army of the Dead. So you're corpse tendling enough to get everyone together in the middle. But if everyone is together in the middle, like there's no reason to like keep corpse tendling them. Yeah, sure you can stun them, but it doesn't actually give you more damage to stun them, right? So no need, as soon as you have everyone, to actually ever do a corpse tendril again. Because you'd rather have the full cooldown reduction go on your other two abilities. Might as well just destroy the damage reducers before it gets annoying. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stand on the other side of this room. It's a habit to like get rid of, right? Because you just don't want to lose damage just because you have been corpse tunneling too much. See, there's one snake was now standing outside of the corpse tendril. One snake is trying to push me. We're pulling them a little bit together just to make sure they also stay together. Then we make sure that this stupid thingy just doesn't push me in the side. Flash Eater, kill you. Oop. That's a good time. I like it. Ignore, ignore, curse. That's more what I'm looking for. Get them all together. Avoid getting killed. Again, that's why I'm not the fan of blood misting in, rather walk in. Because if you walk in, you have the chance to blood mist out. No one likes poison. No one likes the laser ladies. But you're all dead. You do so much poison damage. I'm not okay with it. Good. It could be ending at a 7 minutes to boss. Everything goes good. Yeah, demon, please come together as well. Oh, you're not gonna get hit by that shadow. That shadow tears you. Gotta look out when you're fighting very close to the demons. The Balrogs have like their fire breath, and that stings. Literally. For some reason, that chunks so hard sometimes, just instantly gets you killed. Where's the shrine? Ooh, lethal shrine, my favorite one. Lethal shrine is like all your golem hits critting, right? All the abilities he does, every single chunk is super chunk. Five times, Flash Eater, pull everything together. And as you might notice, without damage numbers, it's just so much easier to see everything. Our recommendation again to turn that off. Danzo. It's gonna be an awkward one. The blood mist activation wasn't my proudest one. Yep. Like having the wolves jump you, right? Plus the other elemental effects, and the Sukubi are so annoying. Don't fight them if you can avoid it, because they tend to always separate, right? They tend to never stay together. It's like weirdest thing they do, which makes them very annoying to fight because you're trying to pull them together. You want your mobs to focus, right? You want your golem to be able to focus them down, but they go out of each other. Now end of the day, like if they separate, golem does triple damage to one of them. But you notice how long this fight has now been taken and how much time that took out of our total. But I also can't just leave them alive. That was a bad pack to fight. Let's see if we can fight these wolves back here. Hopefully we can keep them in the corner. Let's try to pull everything together. Here, this one too. Yeah, good. Currently over spamming corpse tendrils because the wolves tend to charge you if they're not under control. So I try to keep them under control as much as possible. Because they're annoying. Well, that's another pack in the corner. Perfect. We need all of you. Thank you very much. I like to see that. And now even more of you. Yeah, that's nice. Please don't charge me. Please don't ground pound affect me. Thank you very much. That pack should be enough to get me to the boss, hopefully. Yep. Actually pretty quick. Now give me a outlaw sharpshooter. I want to be unhappy, but the outlaw sharpshooter takes a lot of damage. The only problem is all his traps. Stagger the man. Well, that's fire. That's fire Elias, which is literally fire. Because we can essentially ignore him. Double dip really quickly into the Blood Mist for the 10% bonus crit chance. And in the boss fight, as soon as the boss is staggered, you want to essentially avoid doing more corpse turn rolls. Because, well, you can't stagger a boss more than once. Right? So if you get him staggered already, you want your cooldown again to go all the way to the important skills. Not the shit we don't need. These are like two okay mutations. I'm gonna step into that trap, step into the trap. Like I always try to activate as many traps as possible so we have them later on not being a nuisance. One, two, three, four, five. You are going out now. That was mean. We just had our damage cooking, right? That was a big hit from the golem. Oh no, not her. She's my least favorite one. Because I tend to get myself hit. I don't know what it is, but she gives me the most issues. Maybe it's my movement speed. Maybe it's not having like the triple dashes or whatever, but something is giving me troubles there. Oh, that almost hit me. I like to stand very close to the wall here, because if you stand very close to the wall, then we're most likely going to fizzle his thingy out of existence, right? We're actually not getting hit. That's kind of cool. A bit scared of my potion running out, just on me mid shebang here currently. One, and then I just tend to Blood Mist, and we're out. Okay, that was a lot of pools on top of each other. Take that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's a good one. That's going to be a good damage phase, I feel it. One, 2, 3. Oh, come on, come back now. We got the good damage phase happening here. Damn, let's go. That is nice. 115 clear, ladies and gentlemen, and still some leeway for more, and a lot of room for improvement on the masterworking and the tempering, that's for sure. What did we change to make this all possible? First, the skills before we get into the gear, because in the skill department, we actually pushed out all the shadow stuff. Yep, This is also gone, no more corpse explosion, and we're currently playing that our Blood Mist actually gives us critical strike bonus chance, which can be very interesting in the boss fight to just tap Blood Mist for a second and get that 10% bonus crit. Sometimes the Ghastly Blood Mist might actually be better again, but I've made good experience with the Dreadful Blood Mist to just get that bonus damage out. We're currently playing also 3 points into Spiked Armor because I had the points and the Thorns are bonus damage, so why not have it? In total, we're rocking 15 ranks in Skeletal Warrior Mastery for more DPS. The same goes for Skeletal Mage Mastery, and lastly, the Golem is currently on 8, but I really want him to 9. With another 8 ranks in Hellbent Commander, and if you could get that up to 9, that would be fantastic as well. Now to the gear and the interesting changes. First and foremost, the Blood Getters aspect is working. I'm getting healed by the Skeletal Priest. I am getting 21% damage, so 70% of this 30% bonus damage multiplier, and that 21% damage is going back to our minions, so they're getting boosted by 51% in total as you summon the Skeletal Priest. I double tested this. We did it live on stream to make sure it really does what it does, and it does it. You do want your Golem Mastery here up to 6 by any means possible. We iterated on the math, but let me quickly do it again. We currently have 5,700 Golem damage, and this glove will give us 180% plus. If I remove this, I'm though losing suddenly 700%. What? Yes, 180% is actually 700% Golem damage. And the reason for that is that every point of Golem damage, the 180, is multiplied by your Golem Mastery. So that's times 3. 540. Where's the last 25% coming from? Oh, that is from the Golem Glyph in your Paragon Board. So this is 1.25 another on top of that, which makes then this measly 180 points actually be 675 points. The same goes for every piece of Golem damage you have on your gear. So this 340 damage is actually totaling in over thousands of Golem damage. And that makes every single point in your Paragon Board so much more worth it. That's 8.5 times 200% and times 25%, and so on. That depends obviously on how big your Golem Mastery is, because if that's now a 6 or 7 ranks even, you have 250% or 225% multiplicative, which will give me another huge damage boost. Now, as we're hovering over the gloves, currently Mage Mastery, critical chance, and attack speed with Golem Damage and Corpse Tender Size. 1 rank in Corpse Tender Size is actually enough because we have other temporaries on our other gear that's way more interesting. Now, why Skeletal Mage Mastery? It's simply more DPS. The reason why Mage Mastery doesn't do that much DPS in this build than in others is again because only the direct Golem damage gets multiplied up. So if I now had tempered damage to mages, that would get multiplied up as well. But that's also the reason why summoning damage is completely shit. Because if you have summoning damage instead of Golem damage, that doesn't get multiplied up by your Golem multiplier or even by your Mage or Warrior multipliers. So you want direct damage to them. On the gloves, we're also playing currently the aspect of elements, which gives me another 30% multiplier to my mages with shadow and to my golem with physical, and actually the warriors as well, having them do more damage. So why not? It's brilliant and works really good. The pants have mage mastery, armor, and maximum life as well. Then we have maximum life tempered and up to a 40% chance to slow enemies for 2 seconds. That lucky hit chance gets triggered by your Army of the Dead and by your corpse tendrils, which essentially has you just stagger the boss faster. Otherwise, I would have to grapify size here, and that's absolutely useless unless you're on controller. It can be useful there. And my boots have the same, a 20% chance to immobilize. Don't mind if I do, with Skeletal Warrior Mastery, which could be replaced through intelligence, just to have more intelligence and more all damage. Quite useful as well. Then Blood Mist movement speed, normal movement speed would be better, but I think I'm out of temper durability here. My weapon is a bit different than others because I don't have minion attack speed. It doesn't work for me that well. I'd rather have Skeletal Mages attack twice because my Skeletal Mages are being boosted with all the Mage Mastery as well, and they're applying the Shadowblight Key passive faster if they cast twice. As I do have enough attack speed, the 100% currently cooking over my boots and my ring, over my gauntlets and my rings, I don't need to have attack speed tempered on my weapon, and it's working quite fantastic out for me. Then you want to have the Golem Damage, maximum life greater affix is mandatory, so you could get this 40,000 life, and you've seen how I actually avoid a lot of one-shots. Shadowblight Key passive comes on the weapon for that 240% X multiplier. That gets followed up by the Band of the Frenzied Dead on my ring. That is the 45% bonus attack speed, and I don't need to have this now on my amulet because I currently have enough 48.7 and 10% to essentially have this perfectly at 100%. And yes, it doesn't matter where you have it as long as it calculates up to 100%. Then we have the Golem active cooldown reduction, damage, attack speed, crit chance, and maximum life. All very good, as we're rocking a 54.8% crit chance, and minions are actually having 6% more because of the inspiring leader that you get running down here. That's your passive from the skill board. Now my second ring is running Army of the Dead, which is the 100% multiplier with the Golem damage, ultimate cooldown reduction. I would have Golem cooldown reduction there, but sadly don't have it. Damage, attack speed, and maximum life. Could actually go for intelligence here as well to just boost the all damage for everyone, but critical strike damage works very well with all your warriors together to have them do like millions of DPS end of the day. Then the choke of reanimation is for the Hellbent Commander, and here we do want a 2+6 by any means possible, but I tempered Golem damage twice, and the interesting part is this is only 160% out of 204%. That 160% out of 204 means I'm missing 40 Golem damage, but 40 Golem damage is actually 150% Golem damage because again the 200% and then the 25%. Critical strike chance is nice to have as it just goes absolutely crazy here to have our minions critical strike even more. The pants do have heart and bones, by the way. I completely forget to mention that. And the boots actually raise your Skeletal Warriors by 2. And then on the helmet, we're currently running Skeletal Warrior Mastery, cooldown reduction, maximum life with Curse Duration. And that Curse Duration would actually be another immobilized slow freeze, so another lucky hit chance. And then we have the maximum life bonus as well. You might see how we're over armoring because we have the total armor on our boots. I need to masterwork this one more time, and then I might be able to actually roll the armor away on this one. But I'm kind of stuck with it for now. Now, this helmet could be replaced through the Harlequin Crest. The problem is if you do that, you're going to be losing the aspect of elements because you have to move the Skeletal Priest over to your chest and your chest has to move over to your gloves. That will give you another 20% damage reduction. So if you want to feel safer, play Harlequin Crest. You also lose the Warrior Mastery, and the 4 bonus ranks don't do anything for your damage. So it's more defense, but less DPS with the Harlequin Crest. Now to the Paragon board, it was all about getting as much Golem damage as possible. And now if you're asking, hey, does the all damage actually raise the Golem damage? It does, but it doesn't multiply up with your multiplier, right? So the all damage doesn't magically land in here. This damage with Golem that's getting multiplied upwards is only working with itself, essentially. Therefore, we're going over the resistance on the left because I needed it. I don't have much int. Amplify for the 10% bonus damage going over the left because I don't need the armor. Into the Flesh Eater node together with the resistance to all elements that we're actually fully resistanced out here nicely. And we're having currently the board here over the actual Cult-Leader board because again, this bonus of summoning damage would be another 20% if we swap this around. But realistically, what for? That summoning damage is nice to have, but it doesn't multiply up as harsh as the others. We'd rather want to have the Tenacity board. We'd rather have the Tenacity node from the Bone Graft board to the left straight away for that 8% bonus life. And then we're just going through to have the Exploit running. And I actually did have to take these 2 points because I didn't have enough intelligence on gear. Otherwise, I could take these 2 points out. Let's say I have another 100% intelligence on one single piece of gear on my boots, for example. I can take these 2 nodes out to actually get that and that for Golem damage, because that would be another 100% Golem damage plus almost. And currently we're running in the Hulking Monstrosity board, the Gravekeeper glyph, which kind of works very nice as we're making enough corpses with Army of the Dead. The interesting part is it's multiplying up our Golem. Now it's making out of a 56.3% node, a 112.5% node in total, right? It's just boosting this up so much. And if this is 112.5% instead of the measly 50% node, well, that's again 112 times 3 times 1.25. Well, that's a 420% from this single node. Crazy. Cult-Leader board for that Cult-Leader multiplier together with Debt Raiser for the Debt Raiser multiplier. Then we care for nothing else. This would multiplicatively raise the damage of our warriors and of our mages, but we can't really invest any points into this, so it's not possible for us to simply get that. We'd rather boost the Golem damage as much as possible because the 200% is actually 800% times 3 times 25, and that's the 25% multiplier here with the Center of Death for the bonus damage reduction or the bonus damage. Now drop in the comments below your Golem damage multiplier and tell me how much you could increase it to get really the, are you at 6,000? Are you at 7,000%? I think if I get this to +6, I should be at 6,000 plus. So that's going to be amazing. Might be working on the 7,000 angle over time to push that 120 or even 125 dungeons, but I'm really happy with my achievements so far. How deep in the pit are you without Holy Bolts though? And if you're now rather looking for a Rogue or for a Bone Spirit build, which are both absolutely amazing, give them a try. They're fun to play as well, just if you don't like those minions for some reason.